We're inside DJs Not DJing. We're talking with Mojaxx on a special episode celebrating 1 year. Thank you for being here. And we were just talking about your influences and this Suburban Bass t-shirt you're wearing, and you're spinning Liquid Jungle on Sundays. I've been watching you for years. The only clue I had that you were into drum and bass at all was you did a video one time, and I forget which one it was. It might have been with the 12s. You were reviewing the Rain 12s, and you were talking about how you could put any record you want on top of the 12s, and you used a reinforced picture disc. Am I wrong?
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
and so I saw that.
Day, actually, I need to put it. Yeah.
I saw that, and I was like, "Man's got a reinforced picture disc. He knows what the he's talking about." And so, and that was my first clue, but I had no clue since then until I started watching you streaming. Can you give us the jungleists in the room right now? Can you give us a little bit of your early influences in the rave scene and the jungle scene, and how it influenced the one and only Mojaxx, please?
Well, I think it's quite interesting because as an American, your path through electronic music is very different from ours in the UK. Like in the UK, rave, like around 92, Prodigy, Charlie, Smarty, Sesame Street, which was on sub bass. I was like 12 or whatever at that time, I was a young kid, but like that stuff was proper mainstream. That was proper chart music, top 40, top 10 music, right? So we have that history with it for a start, but then also, jungle and drum and bass obviously grew out of that kind of Essex. Suburban bass is really important to me because that was the first 12-inch proper like breakbeat hardcore record that I bought. I'd been buying, our stuff mainly came on 7-inch vinyl still at that point from like the high street stores, right? So I'd pick all that up like Prodigy and stuff. You could get all that in the high street store. But then I started to go into proper record stores, and the first proper 12-inch that I bought was DJ Chrome and Mr. Time, the Slammer remixes on Suburban Bass 1993. It's the Nookie mix is the one for me. That's this timeless, endless, ultimate tune. Love that still to this day. And so that was a very important label. After that, it was like, right, okay, I'll just buy everything I see on this label. Right. And then you start talking to the guys in the store, and they're like, oh, you should try this Production House thing, because that was another big label, ASIN and stuff all that time. And then it just gradually went on from there. So I've always had that history with rave music, what we would call rave music all that time, and growing up. And then I got into happy hardcore once I was sort of 16, 17, starting to drive around in my little hatchback, my little hot hatch, like vroom, like, boy racer vibes, pumping out the 4-beat happy hardcore. And then your taste develop and change. And I got more into sort of house and trance, and I've just, dance music's always been my thing. I'm not a hip hop head from back in the day. I can't pretend I was there, digging the OG hip. I liked things like Run DMC and that, but I was never a real hip hop head. I was a dance music head. The first 2 records I beat matched were Nightcrawlers and Bucketheads.
Yes.
Like I remember the day I was figured out beat matching for the first time. So that was 95. So I was like, oh, this is how you do it. It's like, the curtains fall away from the eyes. And
you never hear music the same way again.
Yeah. And so I've always been a house guy, a dance guy. That's my jam. And then as we go through the years with drum and bass in the UK, again, stuff like DJ Fresh, even today, Wilkinson, that's top 10 music, man. That's big. Sigma, those are big acts in the UK still. And so as an open format DJ, when open format was real open format, I would play Shy FX, Shake Your Body, and, General Levy, Incredible, MB, and stuff like that.
Those were part of the open format. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
they were mainstays in any open format set for years and years and years. And like that was, so I've just always had that connection to it. But the stuff that I play on Twitch is stuff that I raved to as a youngster. That's the difference. It's not necessarily like progressive house. I used to go to Bedrock at Heaven in London, first Thursday of every month. John Digweed's night, Sasha and Digweed. And that was like incredibly important to me in the early 2000s. Oh my God, it's still so influential over me. But then my housemate, one of my housemates, my best friend in the world, who's now lives in Australia, he got a job at Fabric London. Sick. He was their new media manager. He did their website and all that for like 5 years. And so I went to Fabric from like 2002 to 2005, pretty much every weekend, access all areas. hanging out in the DJ booths, just watching and listening and getting messed up as well. We're having a good time.
That's a golden ticket, man.
You know, that is an education right there. Do you know what I mean? So I've seen the best DJs in the world close up, you know, and it was obviously the big nights there at that time was like True Players, you know, and Ram Records were doing nights, and then it's just loads of drum and bass all the time. Like Friday nights was just like, even Scratch Perverts at that point, it was just loads of drum and bass all the time. So I've heard the best, and that was the stuff that I went out and partied to. That's why when you give me the choice with no commercial considerations, the stuff that you partied to in your late teens, your early 20s, that's the stuff that's always going to touch you the most. So yeah, I'll always be an open format DJ at heart. I love too many. If you told me I could never play a rock set again, I'd be sad. I've now been doing my Sunday show, Liquid, you know, Sub Bass Sundays, it was my 15th episode last night. So I've been doing that for, 3 months. Yeah, 3 and a bit months, right? So I've been exploring. I was watching some drum and bass on Twitch already, but I wasn't like getting into the community in quite the same way. And I've got to say, the drum and bass community on Twitch is awesome. Like, it's fully awesome. There is so much support for everybody. And to be honest, like, drum and bass has always seemed a bit, as someone who's a bit of an outsider, as a bit of kind of an insular kind of scene, a bit cliquey. But I don't see that on Twitch. I don't feel that on Twitch. I feel like it's very welcoming, and I feel like everyone's supporting each other. I might be wrong on that. I don't know. And again, I'm still kind of an outsider to it, but I feel like everyone's getting each other's back, because drum and bass has always been a kind of, not sidelined, do you know what I mean? But it's always been outside of the mainstream.
If there's a big festival, you know, if there's a big festival with 4 rooms, the drum and bass room is room 4 of 4.
For me, Twitch is all about the community stuff.
Yep.
You know, I have my own community that I've built around what I do, and you know, incredible what's going on. You know, I have my own team and stuff. The Progress family, they all do. Every Wednesday is like a raid train building up to me, and then I raid out from there. It's like, this so special, the community stuff that's going on. And I just feel like, yeah, drum and bass, it feels like everyone's kind of got each other's back. There's not too much sniping going on. Everyone's just like, this is our place where we can shine, where maybe we don't get a chance to shine because we're always in that 4th room at the festival, or the 4th tent, you know, that grungy tent at the back near to the toilets. Like, we're, you know, this is a place for drum and bass to really shine and come through, and I love that.
Some of it can be attributed to United States drum and bass communicating a lot better from this too. One thing that's kind of hindered the drum and bass community domestically here in the United States is that we're such a huge country and so far spread apart that a lot of us in the last year, we've actually started discovering similar scenes all over the U.S. Hey, you've been doing this for 20 years and I never even talked to you once. Hey, you've been doing this for 20 years and I never talked to you once, right? And like Atlanta, Seattle, Portland, even up in Vancouver and like Texas and you know, all over the East Coast, these scenes that may not even be like the major metropolitan scenes, like these, you know, Sacramento, we're 100 miles away from San Francisco. We have a 2 million population. We're a decent sized city, but we're not the biggest city in the country, right? And these type of scenes are all starting to connect right now, and you're starting to see like what made those local scenes strong is what's making this bigger network strong as well. Everybody's supporting each other, everyone getting each other's back. It's a beautiful thing. It's super awesome.